Vice has covered this story involving landlords in the UK who are apparently enforcing some pretty draconian no sex policies in their buildings. Now, it's not really a direct policy. You can't tell your tenants that they're not allowed to have sex. So they're doing it in this like roundabout way, which is really fascinating and should probably not be allowed by law. But I'll let you guys decide because it is true that some people can get a little too frisky, a little too disruptive for their neighbors. So if you're wondering how that would even work, here are a few examples. And note that all of the individuals that we're sharing stories from are using pseudonyms. So one person says that after moving into a shared house with 3 other girls, Lucy started to notice signs in the communal areas banning music after 11 p.m., house parties, and crucially, loud sex. I also agree that loud music should be banned after 11 p.m. Like, let's just keep it real. You wanna listen to music, get yourself some headphones, enjoy yourself, but people gotta sleep. Lucy told Vice the following: I thought, how are they even going to police that? But the landlord does inspections himself and he actually mentions it. Oh my God, he mentions it when he visits. We're all girls and he starts lecturing us about youths of today being hypersexual and telling us to save ourselves for marriage. This guy is stuck in like the 1990s. Like, I think there's literally a problem right now of the youths not having sex.
Yeah, is his name Joe Biden? So you said he's stuck in the 90s. Okay, yeah. And this guy's like, look, I'm doing personal inspections to make sure you guys aren't having sex. Are you? Get out of here. He just wants to hear stories. I know, guys.
Yeah, it's so gross. Okay.
By the way, I have a personal story about this. This happened to me once. You're gonna love that story, but keep going.
Are we gonna love that story? Okay, let's go to the next one. So a brand manager named Ty said that he's had 2 managers try to ban or restrict sex in the property he privately rented. So one landlord, Kai says, made a comment about the queues of men always outside the house. It's safe to say I did not make people queue to F me, and the comment felt homophobic. They also suggested that having an active sex life puts people and property at risk, so I moved out. But this problem apparently was following Kai around because this didn't happen to him once, it happened to him twice. In another property, apparently, his landlord asked him how many men were staying at the house and for how long, due to the tenancy being for only one person. I ended up leaving because of the weird fixation on my lifestyle, he adds. So look, the second example that was provided by Kai is a little tricky because I remember when I was renting a 1-bedroom back in the day, and then Christian and I, we got close, and then suddenly I have Christian staying with me, right? That's my husband now. And I knew based on the rental agreement that the rent was based on one tenant. And so I was trying to be sneaky, but my landlord found out and she's like, I think that there's a gentleman living with you. Is that true? And of course I had to tell the truth. And then she did bump up my rent by $100. And it's because, the utilities are more expensive when you have 2 people living in that unit rather than one person. There's like, more water being used and the landlord pays for the water. So that's how they justify that type of rental agreement. I don't think it really has to do with the sexual activity happening within the unit. At least not in every case.
Okay, some guys want to know what's happening with the unit, but anyways, all right. There's 2 funny parts of Anna's story, then I'll do mine. I like how she's like, then Christian and I got close. It's like a little shimmy there for close, and I like how your landlord was like, I hear you have a gentleman caller. Okay. Anyways. One time when I first moved to LA, I'm single, and I run into an old high school friend, and he says, well, I actually happen to have a room available if you want in the place that I'm staying. And I was like, oh, I do need a room. So I went and talked to him. As I come in, he says, now Cenk, he's kind of an awkward guy. He's like, in the Asian culture, we take off our shoes. I'm like, brother, you've been in my house like 12 times when we were going to high school together. Turks also take off their shoes. You took off your shoes at my house. What are you telling me that for?
Must interrupt you, sorry, but it's important. It must be stated. That is the correct protocol, in my opinion. Continue.
Yeah, I don't know why folks in America don't take, like, then you're gonna get mud all over the house. You're gonna get everything all over the house. Anyways, so then we sit down and he's like, we go through normal stuff. Hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. What do you know? What are you doing for work? It's all good. Then he's like, now, Jake, there is one more thing. If you stay here, I get to bed at a normal time because I have to work and I need my sleep. So do you have a girlfriend? Because we can't have very loud sex here.
Oh my God, this is insane.
I'm like, are you seriously asking me how loud my sex is, or if I'm gonna have sex? I'm like, am I gonna have loud sex here? I'm like, I hope so. Right? I'm not gonna root against myself, but right now I didn't have any plans.
Let me just say, the problem with this is the preemptive element of it, right? Like, how about you address it if and when it happens? So if your tenant is being loud and disruptive and it's bothering other tenants in the building, other neighbors, okay, address it if and when it happens. But to preemptively give that warning comes across as incredibly creepy and weird. So like, people shouldn't do that at all.
Yeah.
And by the way, like, how about a little bit of insulation in the walls? Okay, how about a little bit of that? Because people got to live.
Okay,
people got to have, like some people have a thirst for life, and I'm so tired of those in power trying to like crush that thirst. No, let people enjoy themselves. And yes, if they're going overboard, sure.
Nah,
but like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, 100% agree. So listen, guys. If someone's going on and on all night long with, let's say, loud music or anything else, right? And it's gone from like 11 at night to 3 in the morning. Yeah, of course, you can say, hey, brother, come on, bounds the reason, right? But we're talking about sex here. We're talking about sex? We're talking about sex. Really, is it going on all night? No, it's not.
No.
Okay,
hopefully not.
It's going on for about 20 seconds to 2 minutes. If you're complaining about it, it's because you're bitter and jealous. It has nothing to do with like, oh, I couldn't sleep all night because of the 90 seconds that they were having sex. Keep it real, man. What are they gonna go, 15 minutes? And that's the big thing you're complaining about? Come on. I mean, look at one of those clauses that Anna read you. It could lead to property being at risk. What kind of sex are they having?
Really good sex, apparently.
Yeah, apparently really good sex. They're putting property at risk. I mean, they're putting some effort in this thing. I want to take the tip of the hat. Nice job. This is all nonsense. And you could tell, like that same guy that I told the story about, let's give him a fake name, Bob, right? Bob once made this comment to one of our friends who's a girl who had dated a couple of the guys in the group when we were in high school. The most normal thing in the world. A couple of guys dated a couple of girls to do vice versa, right? And Bob says to her, oh, have you dated everyone in the group yet? And she said, no, Bob, because I haven't dated you.
Oof, good for her. It's a good comeback. Yeah. Sorry, Bob.